You're listening to This Date is Over Radio right here on The Flow with your host, Miss Marie. Coming to you live from the I Am for Radio Broadcasting Network on rocktheflow.com. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm so happy that you decided to join me on this chilly Sunday evening. Yes, the Grammys are on tonight, so I'm happy that you're tuning in because we got a great show in store for you. Tonight's topic is an ugly topic for me. We're talking about going Dutch on a first date. You know, I got my buddy Lawrence in studio. Say what's up to the people, Lawrence.
How y'all doing?
And also got DJ Easy. Say what's up to the good people.
What's up?
I'm Kendall, and you are listening to This Date is Over Radio with my auntie, Miss Marie, right here on the Flow.
But tonight we're talking about going Dutch. Is it okay to go Dutch on a first date? I'm going to pass it to you, Lawrence.
Is it okay to go Dutch?
On a first date.
On a first date, the only time is okay to go Dutch.
No. I said, is it okay to go?
Is it okay?
Yay or nay?
Is it okay? Yes, it's okay to go Dutch on the first date.
Oh, heavens, Lord.
I think it's okay to go Dutch. Because when you going Dutch, if it's the first date, you don't really know where you stand in a relationship or a friendship. So
yeah.
Sometimes
I can tell you where you stand.
What?
You stand all the way in the friend zone if you go Dutch on the first date.
Not necessarily.
That's not a date.
I've been Dutch on the first date. So.
And you're still in the friend zone.
Well, no.
No.
So you say yeah.
I'm gonna tell you what makes sense.
Tell me what makes sense, honey.
In this
Tell
day
me.
and time,
School me.
I'm gonna tell you. In this day and time, if you really want to impress a man, you know what I'm saying. Like if I went out with a woman and the first date, if she paid for the first date, then I would feel special. You know, instead of us going Dutch, if I offer to pay and she take the check and she pays for it, then I would feel a certain way. I would think she's a keeper.
And you said the key word special, feeling special.
Right.
So if a man asks me to go Dutch, I don't feel special, especially when he initiated that date. If you ask me out on a date and then turn around and tell me like, hey, let's split the check, I am so sorry for you, my friend. This date is over. Well, and there will be no date number 2.
So
and you will not get a whiff of the poon, and you will not get a kiss goodnight, and you will get blocked.
So have you paid for the first date? Have you?
Yes.
You have?
Yes, I have. I asked the guy out. I paid.
Oh,
I have no problem with that.
You have no problem with that?
No. But I think where people make the mistakes are, you know, the whole date in particular. It's like, you don't need to have this grandiose, grand scheme of things date. You don't need to go to Ruth's Chris, any place expensive. I wouldn't even say go to a restaurant, or if you want to, go to like a mom and pop El Cheapo restaurant. It doesn't have to be expensive. I think people need to reevaluate their dating strategy because who needs to go to spend $200 for somebody that you don't even know if you're gonna like?
I got a question.
Go to a coffee shop.
Mickey D's.
That's not classy. It can be classy and inexpensive. Although I will get a filet of fish. Anybody out there listening, Miss Marie, that's my guilty pleasure is the filet of fish. The filet of fish is my guilty pleasure. Add extra tartar sauce. Thank you.
I got a question for you. Question for you.
Go for it.
Let's say you invited some guy you met or whatever out on a date, right? And during the whole date, he started hitting on you and he started, you know, doing things that you didn't particularly feel comfortable with. You felt like he was being a little bit too sexual or whatever. Okay. At the end of the date, would you still pay for the date or would you want y'all to still go Dutch?
I would still pay for it.
You would still pay for it? Even though you felt like he would. What if he said, no, I want to pay for it. I want to pay for it now. After the whole
let him
date,
pay for it.
But I'm saying, but the whole date, he's been doing things like
but
you don't feel comfortable
It really
with,
depends.
You know?
Like if I feel that uncomfortable, the date is already over. Because I've left somebody on a date before.
Oh, if the date is who pays for it? Who pays for it?
If he's been that inappropriate, we probably just got to advertise. I'm not even gonna order an entree. I'm gonna be out. Like here's the $10 for that chicken tender.
So you would pay
platter that we just got, and I'm out.
Leave.
Yeah.
Well, what if it happens at the end of the date, towards the end after you already ate and you already?
If he's smart, he would wait till after I paid for the date to then be inappropriate.
He may not be that smart.
Then hey, it is what it is.
Okay.
Well, I mean,
I'll take that loss. I'll take that $20-$40 loss. Okay.
You can't be
I've made some financial mistakes. You know, I bought a pair of shoes that didn't look that great. I've made some poor investments. The same goes with dating. Dudes will stand in line for a pair of $300 shoes to impress other men. So what's the big deal? Like,
what dudes do that?
A lot of dudes.
Nah, little dudes.
No.
A lot of guys do. So you think it's okay? So when you go out with a young lady, Lawrence, and you pay for the date,
right.
Do you expect a happy ending of a sexual nature?
Not all the time. I put it like this: it all depends on the chemistry. It all depends on the chemistry during the first date. If the chemistry's not there, you pretty much know, even if you pay for it, if you go Dutch, whatever, it ain't gonna happen. But sometimes you know when it's gonna happen, no matter what. So I mean, like I said, it all depends. It's all about timing. It's all about who you with. It's all about the chemistry. How it all goes down, you know.
Yeah, chemistry is important. That's why I said, reevaluate your dating strategy, number one, and not even bother going on some fancy schmancy date to some fancy schmancy restaurant because you don't really know if you like that person. You might be vibing on the phone. Once you get them out in person, it might be a different story.
But you know what?
I've been in that situation several times.
A lot of dudes, what they do is if they feel like it's a girl, there's a woman, whatever, that's like really, let's say a 9, 10, whatever, they the top of the scale that they feel is the top of the scale. They may go overboard and take them to a nice restaurant like Ruth Chris or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So it all really depends on who you going out with. And also, guys, stay in your financial lane. Like, that you can't afford the surf and the turf.
Yes.
Don't take her to some fancy steakhouse. Don't take her to the Palms. Like,
she's gonna expect that all the time. Once you go here, once you go Ruth Chris, you can't go to Jerry's, Outback.
Outback is not gonna cut it.
Yeah. You gotta gradually work up to that. You start out at Outback, just like you said, make sure she's the one for you, or it's gonna be a second date. If you waste $50, okay, it's no big deal. It's a
big deal to some people. $50,
I'm saying $50 is not a big deal, but if it's $200, you're gonna think about that $200 for a couple weeks, a month down the line. That next date that you go on, hold on, I'm not taking but $220s. She not getting $200 of my money, and that chick may be the one, but you're spending $220s on her now because the last chick messed it up for this date that you going on with a different chick.
Right, and everybody's different, and a lot of guys and chicks, ladies, we hold the next person accountable and treat them, with the same lens as we did with the person that did us wrong, and this person ain't done nothing to us.
That's true.
Yep.
That's true. Yeah.
So, like I said, I'm gonna say it probably 55 times during the show. Reevaluate your dating strategy. Don't go. First of all, stay in your financial lane. Second of all, I say dinner really isn't necessary. I like to eat, so.
Where do you like to eat at? If it was your first date, where would you eat at?
If I were on a first date, I might go to this Thai joint that I like.
If you were treating.
The entrees are like $15. I would go there.
Okay.
Or I might go to Busboys and Poets, or I might go for a walk. I'll go to a museum. Because like I said, dinner is not necessary. You don't even have to eat. Or if you get something to eat, do something like dessert. Get a milkshake. Do something that's very cheap and simple. That way you can see if you can tolerate being around that person for another 2 hours for a second date. Because, I've gone out with somebody and I'm like, damn, you were cool on the phone, but you talk too damn much, or you were too damn loud.
Right.
Like, I had to tell somebody, like, you're kind of loud right now. Like, everybody in the restaurant can hear our conversation. Can you turn the volume down? So, stuff like that, you'll see how they react to other people. You see how they are in social settings. And if you don't like it, okay, all we did was go to the museum, and that was free. All we did was go get coffee, and that was $7. Well, $25 at Starbucks. All we did was, go for a walk in the park, and that was free.
I'm sitting there trying to think of the movie that Dave Chappelle was in when he the smoking marijuana movie.
Oh yeah,
he didn't have a dollar in his pocket, and he took the chick out, and he was like, "Let's go for a walk," and then okay, let's get a hot dog, and let's do $8 for the date, and it ended up looking like being the perfect date. He only spent $8.
Right.
She didn't know that he didn't have a dime to his name, but. They ended up, they got to know each other. They, and it ended up, they ended up in the bed later on. But that first date was perfect,
right?
And he didn't spend any money.
It's not about how much you spend.
It's not, and it causes you to be more creative too.
Right.
Because when you try to do something that's on the cheap side, it's like, okay, we can't go to this XYZ nice place.
Right.
What can I do now? I think it forces somebody to be creative with a date.
That's true. That's true.
But once a chick find out that you don't have, where does it go? once that second date comes, and then you going on the cheap side again, she's gonna reevaluate. Damn, this brother only spent $20 and we on the second date. What's going on with that?
Well, it depends on the woman, though. I mean, if you are in a bad financial state, perhaps you shouldn't be dating at all.
No, you got to date.
Yeah.
You still got to date. What you gonna do?
You need to get your finances together. That's what you should be doing. Dating is not cheap. Why would you date if you don't have any money?
Well, that's like you say. You gotta get creative.
You get creative, but
or you reverse the action, find a female that's willing to take you on a date, spend money on you.
Exactly, because
this is 2014.
Right. Exactly,
so this ain't 1980. This is 2014. Chicks are taking guys out every day, all day.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that. Okay, yeah, whatever. So gotta go to break, but give us a call. The number is 301-560-6992. 301-560-6992 is the number to the studio. You can tweet me or hit me on Instagram at @dateisover. And also like the Facebook page, facebook.com/thisdateisover. So keep it right here on The Flow, and that's on rocktheflow.com. But tonight we are talking about going Dutch. And keep in mind, you can give us a call. The number is 301-560-6992. 301-560-6992. Is it okay to go Dutch on a first date? And I'm going to pass it to the caller on the line. We got Juan Will. Are you still with us?
Yes, I am.
And you're calling from D.C., right?
Yes.
Thank you for calling in. So do you think it's okay to go Dutch on a first date? You know, you ask a woman out, and at the end of the date, do you think it's cool to split that check?
No, I don't think it's cool. I think before both parties go out, it should be explained, who's gonna foot the bill. But I think fellas gotta do better out there if they just tell her like, oh, you splitting it?
So you saying it's all about how you present that you're going to present the bill? I mean, that you're going to split the bill.
Are you saying that you would say that on the date?
No, he's saying discuss it before the date starts. Discuss it before the date starts. So you already know going in. You already know going in.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Have that conversation, because you definitely want to manage expectations going into the date. And another thing I want to bring up for the ladies, for starters, be mindful of that man's pockets. It's also on the blog, by the way. Check it out, thisdateisover.com/Dutch. It's the Dutch debate. We're talking about going Dutch. Ladies need to be keep in mind that guys' pockets. Don't go overboard ordering stuff that you can't even pronounce, that you've never even had a day in your life.
That's true.
Let me get the escargot. You don't even know what that is.
Oh my God!
Let me get the escargot, or let me get a glass of that merlot.
Right.
Like if you can't pronounce it, if you've never had it in your life, if you would not pay for it yourself,
right?
Do not try to make that man buy that for you.
That's a good rule.
You have never ordered the surf nor the turf in the restaurant. If you only eat chicken tenders and fries when you go out, don't try to go all big and bad and try to impress yourself by getting something that you can't pronounce, that you've never had before, and that you probably are not going to eat because your palate isn't mature enough to eat that foie gras. We are wrapping things up about tonight we have had a lively discussion about going Dutch on a first date. Ladies and gents, step your game up. Ladies, be mindful of that man's pockets. Don't be trying to order things that that is crazy that you wouldn't buy. But at the end of the day, do something simple on a first date. Do something inexpensive or free. So go for a walk in the park, get a picnic, a museum, something that's cheap and free. Go that way so you can see if you can actually tolerate being around that person or stomach being around them for date number 2. That way you guys are not out of a whole lot of money. Although you will have wasted your time, but maybe you didn't. I don't know. But I think you'll be more successful if you do pay for that date than not. The goal is to have a good date. The goal should not be to sleep with that person. Although I'm certain, we're sexual people, we're sexual beings. You want that to happen down the road, but your goal at that point in time should be to have a successful date. And going Dutch on the first date is a fail, a massive fail. But that's all our time. Thank you so much for joining us, and come back next Sunday. We'll be back on The Flow. That's rocktheflow.com. Have a great and blessed week till we meet again.